Merry Meet Annie here. No, I didn't disappear from YouTube yet again. Life presented a series of technical challenges which kept me away from all of you. Specifically, my camcorder died. It didn't die all at once. It died in little bits and pieces, and I was able to keep up with a lot of patience, and I don't have patience with the Season of the Seeker and Season of the Dedicant videos, but it took so long, there wasn't much time left over after that. The good news is I'm back with you with a new camcorder. I don't use phone or tablet or things like a lot of you do. I'm not quite that techno. I use a good old-fashioned Handycam. I have a new one. It's better than the old one was by far. And I also have an external mic, so maybe I'll sound better than before. I'm also going to be doing videos in this environment. A little rough at night, as you can see the lighting's not its best. If you've followed my blogs over the years, you know I live in a mobile home, a 2-bedroom one no less. Small. My recordings have been out in our living room / porch where the phone rings and people knock at the door, and where dogs are barking, and where the neighbor's malfunctioning heating and air conditioning unit, which sounds like a Boeing 707 landing, is 10 foot away from the window. So it wasn't an ideal place. Also didn't allow me to focus very well because lots of distractions, lots of editing. So maybe I won't have to do as much of that. Unfortunately, this room is so small. I thought it was real cool. One of the cool kids with a light box, but the room is so small I haven't figured out where to place it. So my nighttime videos, they're going to be a little bit vampirish in their lighting. But as long as I'm fairly clear and you can hear me better, I'll be happy with that. I hope you are too. So, life has been busy in a good way. In nothing but good ways. Don't you love those times in your life when you have nothing but good to report? And that's how it is for me at the moment. I have been busy in a couple personal fronts. I have been involved in a series that will last for, I think it's a month and a half, through my UU church that has to do with religions with and without God. And various congregates are sharing their own religious traditions, and then we're comparing in a panel discussion and then with a Q&A with the audience what we have in common and where we're different and how we can inspire each other. Very universalist of us, because we are Unitarian Universalists. Preparing for that was wonderful. You know, I've had an elevator speech on what is a Wiccan since the 80s, I think, is the first time I gave it. And this is the first time when I asked the audience to raise their hands if they'd heard of Wicca as a religion. I'd say half the hands went up. And then when I asked how many people knew someone who identified as Wiccan, there was probably 3 or 4 hands. You know, when I started doing this particular talk, no hands went up. And the questions were really great afterwards. I think we spent more time. I think it was a 20-minute presentation and 45 minutes for the discussion afterwards. Lots of really interesting questions that took our path seriously, if you know what I mean. Questions on what's truth? What's the nature of truth within your practice? That was an interesting one to answer, by the way. What happens next? What's the purpose of living? Exactly what are the gods? Are they in reality? Are they archetype? Is it polytheistic, panentheistic? Yeah, well, my tongue just got caught on that. A lot of curiosity on open and honest questions, including a woman whose only religious history has been Roman Catholic, who, and I give her credit for this, she asked if we made sacrifices and if we worshiped the devil. Now you got to understand, she's in a big group, almost auditorium-like, of people, and she asked that question. I could have hugged her, because you don't know what kinds of questions others were hesitant to ask. And the fact that she asked it gave me a chance to lead us in that discussion. It was a wonderful experience, and I'm looking forward to the entire length of it. Hinduism was this week, and of course, so much in common between my practices and Hinduism in the way they relate to deity as avatar, especially. and the major differences of how karma is viewed and how reincarnation is viewed, especially with the Hindu relationship to existence as suffering. So not the Wiccan way. So it's been a wonderful experience. I have also been, because my health is better than it's been in a long time, I have been able to take back up my yoga practices seriously. My yoga practices are bhakti yoga. So they are about the body. They are about the male and female principles of the universe. It's a spiritual experience, not just a physical one. And it's a couple hours a day that I devote to bhakti yoga. And then there's been Season of the Seeker and Season of the Dedicant, and it has grown beautifully. We've created a community where we share and we come together and we converse and we inspire each other. And, well, I'm finding we challenge each other too. We ask questions and we explore together. That has been a wonderful, wonderful blessing, I want to say, in my life. And I cherish it. I truly cherish it. And let's get to, I have never had a video that said anything in its subject line about channel direction. I see it a lot when folks want to shift their focus or shift what they bring and how they're going to handle things. I'm shifting mine a bit. I hope that you're going to approve of it. In Season of the Seeker and Dedicant on Patreon, the first month especially, every day I posted an inspiration, something to consider in light of the season of Lammas, because this started at August 1st. Every day for the entire season. I didn't carry through on that as we began the season of Mabon because I needed to devote my time to seeing that our community was established, to writing, to make sure that I was never in a situation where I was recording a video today that had to be uploaded tomorrow. It's really obvious if someone does that in a teaching situation. I needed to devote 100% of the extra time I had in my life to being that focus within the community that we are establishing together. But now I am back to sharing daily on Patreon, and this is the free Patreon, my friends, but I wanted to bring that to YouTube. One thing is, I violently dislike Patreon. I really do. I love my patrons, but Patreon is an opportunity to share and converse. It's not good. Don't like it at all. Thank goodness for patrons who suggested a vehicle called Slack, S-L-A-C-K, if you are looking for a place to bring together a group where they can share conversations, videos, documents, photographs. Slack works wonderfully and it is free. Just wanted to mention that. I'm finding uses for it with my church, with groups I'm responsible for, and also with a meditation group that I'm part of, where we are sharing that home base in between when we see each other in person. There's about 100 of us, I think, in our Slack community. No, I'd say 75. There's 100 of us in the program, 75 probably in the community. I don't know how to express in words how inspirational I am finding the experience. It really takes me back to my earliest opportunities to be with other folks online of like mind to discuss and learn and grow and question and challenge each other. So out of that, I wanted to establish for myself a daily post that has to do with the season. And I decided I'm going to do it here on YouTube. It won't be the depth of conversation, for example, that the dedicants who are focusing on the wheel of the year for the year. It won't be the depth of conversation that they're experiencing, and especially since they are in conversation with each other. But it's going to be a sense of the spirit, the energy, and the inspiration, and sometimes the challenge of the season. That will be as daily as I can make it. I may not have time to address other topics, at least not regularly. I'll do them in bits and pieces as I can get to them, so please do feel free. But please know my primary focus for a while, maybe for the next year, is going to be the wheel of the year. I'm very comfortable making that my focus here as my channel's new direction, as they say, because my videos on the Sabbats have been the most watched, the most liked, and the most commented on. So I know that they are something that the community is interested in. But I'm all about it not being a day of celebration. It's a season with opportunity to learn and grow throughout the entire length of it. And that's what you're going to see in these postings. Some are going to be very, very short. It might be an image or a poem that inspires me, but there's going to be something every day. I welcome your thoughts on the topics that are part of those, and perhaps you might even do a video if a topic intrigues you. Make sure to link me to it so I know that you did. I'm trying to keep up with all your channels, but I don't want to miss anything, especially if it's been something that's a response to something I posted. So that's a little bit of an update and a little bit of a channel direction. That will be a focus on the wheel of the year. You know, I personally am about three things: the elements, the wheel of the year, and my gods. So the idea of being able to share throughout the length of a year with you some small part of what Season of the Seeker and Season of the Dedekind are taking on at a more deeply personal level. I'm thrilled to do this. I really am looking forward to it and spending time with you in this way. There's the update. You're going to see, I think the next video is, I already shared the first of the next series with Seeker and Dedekind that are my inspirational daily posts. So you'll get a couple now. The first one is a poem by Ed Fitch, because there'll be poetry every now and then. And the second is my take, reflecting on videos I've done in the past on the season of Mabon. I hope that you will look forward to these daily postings. Some of them will be a little longer than others, and many of them will not be very long at all. I hope you find that to your liking. I wish you all mirth and reverence, and I am so looking forward to sharing in this new bit of my journey with all of you.